Hey guys, so this is a special day. We're going to take a tour of Tierracast. We're going to look at some of their new parts and pieces, which I used just last week in my video with Allegory Gallery, but we'll take kind of a closer look at what they're doing with those. And we're going to make a quick and easy bracelet from my new book, this guy here. So we'll actually take the tour and then we're going to come back around and we're going to make this bracelet so you can get an idea of how to use these really cool tri-beads, and then we'll use Tierracast charms with it. So it'll be a great combination of soft flex beading wire and Tierracast products. So to get started, I am in Tracy's special room. And she's going to come join me here. This is Tracy from Tierracast.
Hi, everybody.
She does a lot of their designing. And so a lot of times when you'll see the designs in their catalog or you'll see it in their advertisement, you see it at the show, it oftentimes is made by Tracy or some of the other staff here at Tierracast, but a lot of times Tracy. So she's already been working on some really cool new things over here with their new product line. So I'm just going to pull the camera down. I'm probably going to do this quite a bit, guys, and we're going to go around the room. There's Tracy again. Hi. I'm probably going to do this a lot. I'm going to jump from the tripod out so that you guys can take a look at what's going on around me. But when we go on the tour, it's going to be kind of a long walk in some areas, and you're just going to have to sort of hang in there if you want to see all the different things. So these are all design ideas that Tracy has been working on, or some of the staff here maybe. I don't know if it's all you. Using their new parts and pieces, which is called the, is it Make a Statement?
This line is Make a Statement, and it came out 3 weeks ago, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we launched it, we were focusing on earrings, statement earrings. So all of the jewelry we did for our initial marketing push was earrings.
Oh.
So I've been working on some other ideas that hopefully we can get put together and get up, on social media within the next couple of weeks. Just, more inspiration.
Can you guys all hear Tracy okay? I know I'm super loud, so I never use a microphone, so I may have to try to get everybody close in here so you can hear really well. So some of the parts that they came out with are things like this, these really cool daggers, and then they have beads that are sort of faceted. I really liked these. This is kind of a cool connector. It has rings on either side and then a beautiful
we call that our crisscross.
They call it a crisscross. Isn't that awesome, you guys?
Yeah, really fun link.
The really cool thing is we're going to go actually take a tour here in a few minutes, and they're going to show us sort of the process that all these parts and pieces go through in order to be made. So we're actually going to go see where they're developed. We're going to go over to a casting area where they're actually cast, and then through another series of areas where they get cleaned up and ready for plating and whatnot. So it is going to be super fun. We're also going to meet the owners of Tierracast and the founders of Tierracast. So I'm going to go ahead and hop you guys back up here on my tripod over here, and I am going to seriously just take my tripod and we're going to walk through Tierracast into the next room, and you'll get kind of a view of what everything looks like. So you're going on a tour with us, and this is kind of the same tour that they will just give me. So this is special. It's not open to the public. It's not something everybody gets to come and do. So I'm really excited that I get to share this with you guys. Oh, that's what it is.
And you didn't know that you needed wheels on your tripod. But
I didn't know that I needed wheels. That's true. That's this one here. So I'm just going to lower you down a little bit to make it a little bit easier. Hey, Kate, how are you? Kate says, what a great idea. We love Kate Richburg.
Oh, hi, Kate.
Tracy says hi.
So we're walking through the administrative area. This is the general manager, Sarah's office. Say hi, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
How are you? It's so good to see you, Sarah.
We're doing great today. Thanks for letting me come in and tour your beautiful establishment.
It's really our pleasure.
So,
hi, everybody out there. Hope you enjoyed the tour and the projects today.
Robin, we're taking a tour of Tierracast. They are a wholesale only company. They're not open to the public. They actually manufacture their parts and pieces right here in the USA. I mean, how do we not say hi to Julie?
Do you want to say hi?
Okay.
Julie in her natural habitat.
Oh,
Hi,
Hi, Sarah. Good to see you.
Julie. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Is this a live thing?
It
live.
is.
Hi, people. Yeah, it's not as big of a mess as it usually is.
She's trying to block her desk, everybody. Don't let her get away with it. So what, Julie, what is your official role here at Tierracast?
I am a sales representative.
And how long have you been here, Julie?
36 and a half years.
She started when she was 12.
Did you guys hear that? 36 and a half years.
I am the oldest, longest. I am the longest employee
Yeah, watch
here.
your wording.
I know. I am the oldest living employee. I am the longest employee.
So to me, that always says a lot about a company when you have people that stick around for that length of time. You know that they're doing something right with their employees, because normally that doesn't happen these days. It's
We've
definitely
been celebrating anniversaries on Facebook this year, and it's kind of amazing how long
see.
a lot of our employees have been here.
Yeah,
Knock on the wood.
definitely.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
cute. So let's look real fast at some of the designs here. Bye, Julie.
So these
Let me see
designs,
if I can get in close
most
enough.
of these were ones that we did for our initial marketing push when we released this line. So if anybody's familiar with our social media, they'll recognize these from the pictures we've posted and our flyer. Many of them were on our flyer.
Right here by the front door, so you can get a good view of them. So I'm in love with these new lotus flowers. I don't know about you guys, but I think that these are just amazing. And I'm actually going to use those later today when I do my bracelet idea that I'm going to share with you. So let's keep moving. We are going to move on in here where we can see a little bit more, and just walk us through where we're going too, so people kind of know.
From the administrative office of Tierracast, the facade, not really, facade's not the right word, but that's the what everybody sees. And now you guys are going to see really the operations, the rest of the facility, not in too much detail because we have to be quick. But so what we're doing now is we're walking into the product development area, and this is where all of the designs get basically designed and start making molds, and it's like where everything begins. So Kirsten, what's your job title? She's like, she makes a lot. She's a jeweler, so that's what she does in here. She makes our molds and develops our designs, and she's really amazing. And over here at this wheel is Alan. He's one of our owners and
founders,
yes,
correct?
and founders,
Right.
And he's basically our main product development guy for many years, since the beginning. And he's
Stand over there
Oh,
too,
yeah.
and then we can kind of get both of you so they know who's talking.
Alan's going to take us on a little tour just to show us a little bit about production.
Well, then let me turn off the polishing lathe. I just want you to know I've been sitting at this polishing lathe for 38 years. That's how little imagination I've brought to the table. So,
38 years. So
38 years.
all those parts and pieces that you guys see from Tierracast, this is where they are developed,
pretty
correct?
much.
They have been in Alan's grubby hands.
It's
Yeah.
true. And it's different than most jewelry in that we don't make one part. We make one part that becomes 50 parts that becomes 5,000 parts.
Right.
It's a very different approach to jewelry.
Mhm.
Is manufacturing. Different approach to jewelry.
Okay, guys, sorry about that. You know how Facebook Live is. Sometimes it's a little finicky, and as I move around, this might happen more than once. So hopefully all of you guys will be able to jump back on, and whatever you do miss, you can always rewatch it and see it from end to end. And maybe I can even have our video person, you know, stitch it together so it's a little easier. So at any rate, we were just looking at Katie's beautiful earrings. Is it Katie?
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah, I'm terrible with names, but Katie has these gorgeous earrings, and they were explaining how she has been coming up with brand new designs for Tierracast to sort of freshen up the line and have a new creative vision for the company. So that is super exciting.
Yeah.
So you've been here for less than a year or a year or?
So 8 months now.
8 months.
Yeah.
Nice. That's
But boy, is she changing things up.
So what is your background?
My background is in design
Okay.
and mainly in fashion. So I started designing handbags and moved into jewelry. So
That's a nice transition
Yeah.
to make. Well, that's awesome, and that's really interesting because I was thinking this latest line with the daggers and things. I was thinking, wow, this is so on trend with what we're seeing, and not that Tierracast isn't normally, but it did feel different to me in a new and fresh way. So that's the
We're
inside
excited about it.
scoop. As you watch Tierracast sort of change over these next few years, you're going to see this is probably Katie's vision behind some of the new products that are coming out. So
Yeah.
cool. So what's next, you guys?
Well, once we have a design that actually is a master, have to make more of them. So
Right.
if you'd be willing to take a little walk with us, we'll go out into the production area and show.
We're going to follow them wherever they
Take it away,
take us.
Come on,
So
let's go.
the building is comprised of several different spaces, and like I said, this is just like if you were on a tour with me. We're just going to follow along and kind of see the whole process
You get to
here.
go outside. Our facility's a little spread out, and there's a building here and there's a building there, so we end up kind of, it's a little bit of a maze.
Right.
But we're going, well, Alan's going to direct us, but we're going to go see casting first, right?
Yep.
We're going to go watch some people cast some parts.
Yay!
Come on.
It's some fun.
Location a long time.
So-
You see 78, you guys. You know, I was born in 1979.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
initially it was just that front building, right, Alan?
And then it's expanded.
Yeah.
Yeah. As businesses
Now we're
do.
going to see Angela. So we go right.
Okay, so I think as we move from place to place throughout this building, we're probably going to have to do the video in segments. It's quite a bit louder in here, so we'll have to make sure we definitely talk pretty loud or near the camera because it's going to be difficult for people to hear. But right now we're actually in a casting area, and I'll let them talk about what's happening here. And let me get back here a little bit.
I'm gonna just sneak in,
Yeah, perfect.
sneak inside,
That's
and basically say, "This is Angela." Angela is one of our casters that is responsible for making every single part we do in quantity. So that one part gets turned into a wheel of many parts. These are little Hishi beads that you would
look at that.
recognize.
Yeah, look at this, guys. So this has a bunch of Hishi beads on it. And you can see they're all identical. And then when you pull one off, you've got your individual Hishi bead. Isn't that amazing? Kristen says this is so cool. Sue says I'm here.
The
Love
casting
Tierracast.
machine, I'm sorry, Sarah,
Okay.
basically takes a mold, presses it under pressure, and then metal, in this case pewter again, is ladled in the top. It's spun centrifugally out to the mold. That tree solidifies in about 25 to 30 seconds and gets stacked up.
Wow.
And this is what
And I'm going to tip this so you guys can see. Look at all the Hishi beads.
Yeah.
Look at the stacks and stacks of all those Hishi beads that she's been making. Isn't
Yep.
that amazing?
There you
Have you
go.
ever seen anything like it? It's
So
pretty
on
cool.
from here, we're going to do into the finishing area.
Okay.
And that's yet another walk. I hope we don't lose you again.
Yeah. if we do, just jump back on, guys. You know I'm using Wi-Fi, so as we move, it's a pretty big location. It's gonna probably hop on and off, but
We're going to walk outside?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're just
most
gonna
of you have stuck here with
walk
us.
for a
I
minute.
see you. So we're in, is this considered Santa Rosa?
barely.
On the
Yeah.
outskirts of Santa Rosa.
And this isn't a public facility. It's a wholesale only public. So this is our fourth stop, I think, on our tour. And we're going to now look, this is the finishing area, right?
What happens in here, Alan?
We make the parts ready for plating, and when they're raw castings, they're a dull gray, a dull pewter, and they need to be finished. We do mass finishing. So this is one of the finishing media that we use. It's a ceramic media, a plastic media, mixed with a little grit. We have many different types. We've been finishing these parts for a long, long time. Whether they're big parts, small
Explain how
parts.
these parts are used.
The pewter castings are going to be mixed with this media and put in barrels, and we're going to turn around and we're going to open up one of the enclosures.
Sue says that she's glad everything's American made.
It is right here in Santa Rosa.
Santa Rosa,
So-
California.
These barrels, right, have the parts and the media mixed up, and they're labeled, controlled. They know what's in them, how long they should run. And from here, they're going to get ready to be plated. Gold, silver, copper, rhodium, whatever.
Nice.
So it really is a factory process. So we're going to go up the ramp here,
Okay.
take the lead, show you that the parts come back into this area en masse. Whether there's bags of ear wires in niobium or sterling silver, castings, plated, bead caps.
Can I see those real fast?
Absolutely.
So look at how beautiful and bright. I mean, you guys, this is like shining like where you can't even see it. But this is a whole box of these bead caps.
Yep.
That are finished. And do they go through another process after
Yes,
this
they
to take down that brightness, right? 'Cause
That's
they're usually
correct.
not that bright.
They're not that
Those
bright.
are fresh from the platers.
These are fresh from the platers. This is a Celtic knot design we've been making for many years in gold plate. And it's real gold plate, folks. No
So-
pretend here at all.
Real gold plating.
Real gold plate. When the parts are actually finished, they look more like this. This is a design that Tierracast is known for.
Oh yeah,
The tree of life.
So he has like a huge bin of these. Imagine, like, imagine. So fun to see all the pieces in bulk like this.
And then you met Katie. This is one of her designs. This is one of her little lotus drops.
So this is what I'm actually going to be using today in the bracelet design that I'm going to show you guys. And I'm trying to get a good focus in on it. Here, let's see if I get closer. There we go. So this is one of their brand new designs from their Make a Statement line. And there's a bunch of different types of items. That's just one of many that they just came out with.
And this is another one.
Oh yeah, these are really neat too. I haven't gotten a chance to use these, but look at how awesome that piece is. And look at all the connection options at the bottom, and then just like a simple earring or a pendant. But you have got a lot of options with these guys.
No.
Very cool.
I take great note in that this part was designed by Katie, but it was actually patterned. The pattern was made by Stephen Tierra, the big dog, who brought out his J's and Repoussé tools to make that part happen.
That's very cool.
I like it. I like it
So
a lot.
tell me all the different kinds of platings that you do.
Copper, silver, brass oxide I should call it, gold, rhodium.
We have a pewter finish that's not plated.
It's not plated and so forth. There's
And then a black.
Oh, forgot the black. Yeah. There's about 7 different types of plate that
Wow.
we have available and so forth. So keeping all this in inventory and manufactured and up to snuff, it's a lot to take track of.
You're getting a lot of I love Tierracast in the comments. So there's a lot of people out there that really love your products, and you probably don't get to interact with them as
No, I
often
don't.
because you're at the workbench.
Well, this is what I've loved to do is on the manufacturing side, and the ladies who go out into the world, take our story out there. But we've been doing it here on this location for almost 40 years.
Yeah.
1978, fall of 1978.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we're proud of that, and we're making an awful lot of parts. I can't even tell you. Right here in America, and I'm pleased as punch to say that.
Well, this has been so awesome. I feel like it might be best just to go ahead and close out here, and then we'll go back to the design room, and I'll just do a brand new video for the design. That way we've got some cut pieces, and then we'll stitch it together into one nice video and upload that later today. So any of you that missed one part of it or just tuned in now, that way you'll get to see the whole tour all together. So
But before we go, I want to say thank you to everybody that uses our parts. Couldn't do it without you. I appreciate it in a way that you can't even imagine. So thank you.
Oh, that's so nice. Okay, see you guys in a few minutes. Okay guys, we're back in the design studio, and before I do the project, we're going to do a quick look at all of the new products that they just came out with. This is like an awesome tray of everything new for us to take a look at.
And now not quite every finish is in here because this particular stash of parts lives in the marketing office, and we're using it all the time. We're using them for making stuff or whatever. So I'm out of a couple of finishes, but you get the gist. Everything we came out with for this release came in a silver plate, gold plate, and a brass. So just imagine that all 3 finishes are here for everything. But these 2 trays are the what did we call it? Rhythm. So it's the more of the tribal and ethnic designs, and these were all of the parts that were included in that part.
Sue says, I'll take one of each, please. So
One
I
of
assume
each.
these have gone out to your resellers. at
Yes,
this
oh,
point.
they're out there and available, yeah.
Yeah,
And
so-
you need more than one of each, Sue.
Yeah, at least pairs.
Yeah, and then these 2 trays were the geometric parts. We called it geometry. So, and then also the little, what we're calling raindrop frame, because it's made to fit the Swarovski raindrop flatback, and then the flame frame, which is made to fit their flame flatback.
Oh, I see. So there's actually a frame, and then there's one that actually has
We are
the item
selling,
in it.
yeah, we're producing them both ways. Empty, because you can buy these flame flatbacks, Swarovski flatbacks in different colors. So we're selling them empty so people can put their own flatbacks in. But we're also selling them pre-glued with just the crystal color.
So then they have a different shape as well. This one's a little wider on the sides,
Yeah.
whereas this one's a little more slender, and it comes in all 3 of those color tones that she was talking about. My favorite thing is these guys.
Those are the surprise hit. People really love
these. Especially, I did one with Allegory Gallery where I actually took them and stacked them. So it makes like a bunch of arrows. Look at how cool that is, you guys. Yeah. And that comes in all 3 tones too. I think you saw me use silver, but you can get it in this more of an antique color as well as the bright.
And then that's bright
gold.
The
bright gold. Look at how pretty those are. Very cool.
So those are the geometry, and then the little flame and raindrop charms. And then these ones are the renewal parts. Renewal. Did I say that right?
I think so.
Yeah, so they come, we have a post that has that little lotus bead shape. Comes in a post for your earrings. And also the small lotus flower charm, the larger lotus flower component, and then the little lotus bead.
Isn't that cool? Sue says I want a bazillion of those.
There you go. Now she's got the right idea. I'm going to bring this tray over to where you'll be working because I know you want to use some of these in your design.
Yeah. I actually am going to be doing a design today, guys, from my new book, Seed Bead Revolution. And I chose this design. Let's see. It's asking me to rotate my phone. Are you guys seeing everything okay here? Definitely let me know. I'm moving into my tripod here, so I want to make sure you're seeing a straight up and down picture. So this is a design that I did for Seed Bead Revolution, which you can now pre-order through softflexcompany.com. Oh, good. Celia says yes. Linda says, is it wrong for Grandma to have a bigger Christmas list than the grandkids?
No.
Absolutely not. Not one bit. So this is one of my more fun designs in Seed Bead Revolution. So if you haven't gotten to see a little snapshot of the book yet, the basic idea that Kristen and I worked from was using Softflex beading wire in different diameters, not just the 019, which has the biggest color assortment, but various diameters with the unusual shaped seed beads that are out there on the market. So this particular design focuses on the tri-beads, which is a triangle with one big hole in the middle. And I chose this particular design because I did 2 colorways for every design in the book. I'm actually going to give you kind of a quick snapshot of book pages here. I printed these on my own printer because we're still in the editing process, but this is what the front page would look like in the book. And then it has a nice big, large picture. And then of course our instructions. And then the very last page for most designs shows a second colorway. And so for this particular one, I did our tanzanite wire with some purple tri-beads. And I used Tierracast charms. And I just thought they were so adorable with this particular design. So I was thinking today I would make something sort of similar, but use some of these great new lotus charms. Or this nice Swarovski crystal that they have come out with. So I am using the gold, but like you saw earlier, you can get it in the silver and you can get it in, is it considered an antique brass or just brass?
It's considered what we call brass oxide.
I see.
And it is antiqued. It has a chemical antiquing, so it has a little bit of darker areas in the edge, in the corners. Yeah, and we call that brass ox.
Okay, so I'm cutting a length of Softflex wire, and the instructions are in the book. If you pre-order it, you'll get the full instructions for this project. But I'm cutting a pretty nice sized length to make this bracelet, and I'm just going to move this stuff a little bit out of the way so that you can see what I'm doing a little bit better. Let me move this over here. So what I'm going to do first and foremost is I'm going to take a 2x2 millimeter crimp tube and string it onto the wire to the center of my big piece of wire. And that's because when I come back around after doing this ladder stitch, I'm actually going to put my 2 wires back into that crimp tube in order to close off the bracelet. So there's actually no clasp. This is a bangle bracelet that will just go right over the top of your hand, just like this. You'll make it big enough to slide over. And then I like to wear them in bunches. So usually I'll do some coordinating colors to just add a little bit of extra spice. So the colors I have here that are in the book is our red jasper wire with a purple tri-bead. And then also our purple amethyst wire with a red, I think it's called red magma or red lava tri-bead. So I went ahead and strung my crimp tube, and I'm using a 2x2 crimp tube with this diameter of beading wire. Of course, a soft flex crimp tube, and it's gold filled because I'm going to be using these gold charms. I want to make sure that I'm matching really nicely. And then this is super simple. I'm just going to string my tri-bead onto one wire. String my tri-bead onto one wire, and then I'm going to string the other wire back through in the opposite direction. So it is a little bit of a tight fit, and that's actually what helps to hold those circles in place, so that's a good thing. But let me get this through here. It squeezes through, and then I can just pull on both ends till I get to the very middle of the wire. So I'm making a loop. The loop on this, let me look at my instructions real fast. I think it is a 5mm ring. I'm just going to eye it out today, but you'll see that very first one is going to have your 2x2 crimp tube on it. And then I'm just going to do the same thing over and over, making a chain of them basically. And so I'm going to pick up another tri-bead, put it through onto one wire. And again, this is from my new book, Seed Bead Revolution. You can pre-order it at softflexcompany.com. It ships in August. I don't even have a paper copy of it yet, but Kristen is finishing it up as we speak. So it's pretty exciting for us to finally get to a point where we can start sharing projects from it. So again, I put one wire through each end, and I'm just going to keep cinching it down. And if you order a pre-order copy now, you're getting it for $21.99 rather than $23.99, and it'll be a signed copy. Okay, so I'm going to do it about the same size. So you just kind of keep cinching both sides until you get to about the same size. And you're going to keep going like that. I did one earlier because I knew that would take forever to go through all of them. So you'll see on my one end, I have my crimp tube. This is our fluorite colored beading wire. I've already gone through the whole process of adding all the tri-beads. And then to finish it off, I'm going to take my end of my wire on one side back through my crimp tube. And I'm going to do it the other direction too with the other wire. And I'm just going to pull that to make my very last loop. And I want to make sure it's in the center of those rings before I crimp. So you can kind of see what that looks like now that I've connected the bracelet. And I want it in the center of this guy too. Okay, and then when I'm ready, I can go ahead and pick up my crimping pliers. I'm using magical crimping pliers today, and I'm sure you guys have mostly all seen me use them, but they have the same little divot on each side that's identical. When I close them, it creates a dome, and the crimp tube fits just perfectly inside that dome. So let me find the center. You want to make sure it's dead center, right in the middle of those crimping pliers. When you compress, you'll know you've done it correctly if it comes out looking like almost a little ravioli, like a little square with 4 little corners. And then I'll turn it on its side, and I'll actually compress it the other direction. And it's a little hard. I'm in kind of an awkward position, to tell you the truth, today because of the way the tripod is. So I'm going to do it a little further away from the camera so I can see. But you always want to go around it several times in lots of different directions. That'll not only round out that crimp tube, but it actually cinches it down into the nylon coating of the wire, and it makes it a round bead. So it took the very ends of the tube and cinched them into that nylon, so it's nice and tight. And then I can go ahead and cut off my extra wire using cutters right up next to that crimp tube. I'm just going to clip, and I'll clip on the other side. And the very last step is to add that beautiful Tierracast Charm. And so I am going to just straighten this out a little bit so that it lays nice and round. You can see the bracelet that we made here. And then the Tierracast Charm I am going to add by using a simple jump ring. So I have 2 pairs of chain nose pliers, or really a pair of chain nose and needle nose that go together, but very similar action. I'm going to pick up my charm, and I'm just going to open it up using these pliers, one on either side. You open them, let me make sure I'm getting focused, there we go. Open them away from each other so you can see, rather than, there we go, rather than outward, you're going to open it just sort of away so that you can slide it back into that perfect little circle. And then I'm going to add my beautiful lotus flower from Tierracast. And then I'll just connect that right onto my soft flex wire for my bracelet. And then I'll close it back up again. And that's just going to add just like that little bit of ornamentation that's going to make this extra special. And I love the idea of having multiple charms so that they can kind of click together and make noises. So when you do your second or your third bracelet, you could add another lotus flower, add a crystal, or maybe some of the other options that they just recently came out with, and it would look so super cute. So again, this is a project from Seed Bead Revolution, which you can pre-order on the Softflex Company website. I'm using charms from Tierracast. You can find them at tierracast.com. You can also click on the link from this video to their Facebook page and like them. But they actually sell wholesale, so you won't buy right from their website, but you can find out where to buy, either by talking with their customer service representatives, or you can just Google Tierracast. There's a zillion billion places that you can get it from, and all these new charms and things have shipped out, so they're definitely available from your favorite Tierracast distributor. So thanks for joining us today. I'm just gonna flip you guys up real fast here. I can see their backyard out there. Thanks for joining us today, and thank you to wonderful Tracy for showing us around Tierracast. I know all of you guys really enjoyed it. I'm going to talk to Damien and see if he can do his magic with the video and stitch it together into one video and then upload it again. Hopefully he'll be able to do that, and then you'll be able to see it more seamlessly. But you know how Facebook Live is. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. So thanks for hanging in there with me, and I appreciate it.
Thank you for coming to see us and for doing the video.
Oh, I loved it, and it's been really fun seeing the process because I've never seen anything quite like this before either. So talk to you guys all later. Bye, guys.